Hello and welcome back to Vlogmas Day 18. I am so excited for today's video, and if you guys saw Vlogmas Day 17, you know what we're doing today. We are doing a gluten-free frozen pizza taste test. I got 3 different frozen pizzas at Wegmans, and I figured why not do a little gluten-free frozen pizza taste test for you guys to share which of these 3 brands I think makes the best gluten-free frozen pizza. So I took our pizzas out, and these are the 3 pizzas that we are going to make. We have a Wegmans, obviously they're all gluten-free, right? So I'm not gonna keep saying that for every single one. We've got a Wegmans cheese pizza. This is a thin crust. We have a Freschetta brand cheese pizza. And I was gonna go with the ancient grain cheese to just compare cheese and cheese and cheese, but I was like, that is a lot of cheese pizza. So we went with the ancient grain pesto pizza. I'm so excited to eat all of these. I'm excited to try them for you, to give you a full review.
So let me take a look at the backs of all of these to see.
What are we baking at? Okay, so the Against the Grain bakes directly on the rack at 400 degrees for 17 to 19 minutes.
The Freschetta bakes at 450.
Directly on the center rack for 10 to 13. And the Wegmans bakes at 425. So we've got a 450, a 425,
and a 400.
And this one also is directly on the rack for 13 to 15 minutes. So you know what? We're gonna go from getting the oven hottest and working our way down. So that means the Freschetta, which is at 450. So
I am going to
preheat the oven, and we're gonna get started with the gluten-free frozen pizza taste test.
I'm so excited.
A gluten-free pizza taste test. I'm so excited. Preheated the oven to 450. And I'm gonna put these all back in the freezer until
I'm ready to put them in.
But objectively, you're not comparing the same.
We have a hater
That's the first
already.
comment you're gonna get. It's like you didn't compare the same thing.
Yes, we did not. We have one pesto in the mix.
It's like let me eat an orange and then let me eat a potato.
Okay, that's wild. That is a wild comparison. Matt's being friggin' negative. He's being a hater. So, but he is right that we do need to come up with a set of pizza grading criteria. We need a set of criteria. And Matt was like, is taste not one of the criteria? Obviously taste is one of the criteria.
Yeah, we need to figure out. So I think we're gonna rate on crust.
Overall, wait. Okay, we're gonna have to do like a few criteria and then an overall ranking, I guess. So yeah, we need to come up with some pizza grading criteria.
I'm gonna have Matt weigh in with me on that.
Because I figured just having my input is all well and good, but Matt can eat gluten. So he's like, adding him into the mix is even better input because he's comparing against like all the pizzas
That he's ever had.
and he's had a lot of gluten-free pizza with me in our dating for over 2 years. So he's become a pretty good gluten-free pizza judge, and he's very good at cooking food, and he's very good at describing food. So he'll be a good second person to assess the pizzas with me. So the oven is at 300 degrees, working our way up to 450
And I am gonna also have to talk to Matt because we wanna have all the pizzas done.
so that we can kind of try them together. But since they all cook at different temperatures, I'm gonna need to cook them all differently. So maybe I'll cook them all and then just put like kind of 2 slices of each back into the oven so that it's all like hot and crispy at the same time so that we can really do a taste test.
So stay tuned on what we will be judging the pizzas on.
Sauce, cheese, dough.
Oh, okay, that's a good
That's
idea.
the most basic. That's what pizza
Sauce,
is.
cheese,
As a
dough.
purist, I think.
So that's how we're rating it?
I think at least as what you asked, I think that's a good place to start.
Okay, rating on
And I think
sauce, cheese, and dough.
particularly for gluten-free pizza, the dough is gonna be the most important.
Yep,
And then secondly, being a frozen pizza, I think the cheese that you get,
yep.
I think that's a very basic way to break it down. And yeah, I think the overall rating then takes into cost and size into effect.
Okay, yes.
because
Yeah,
each pizza is different,
that's
so,
great. Okay, so we have the Freschetta one here is 17.5 ounces.
And that
Costs $12. The Wegmans pizza costs $7. And the Against the Grain pizza costs
$13.
And the Wegmans pizza for, would you say it was $7? 11.9 ounces.
11.9 ounces. Okay, so 17.5, 11.9,
The
and
Against the Grain is 22.4 ounces.
wow, and 22.4 ounces.
So
Okay.
we have three
For
different.
$1 difference, you're getting a lot more ounces. You're getting almost
Between
the
these
same difference for just $1 more at Against the Grain, whereas from the size difference of the Wegmans to Freschetta, it's like that same size difference, but it's an entire extra, like $5. So just off this,
and-
Against the Grain might be the best bang for your buck. So that's the rating criteria. We've got
cheese.
dough, sauce,
I just shared the cost and the weights of each of them.
and then we'll do an overall value for each. The Freschetta pizza is out, so we are changing the oven temperature to 425. We're gonna wait for it to drop, and then we're gonna throw the next pizza in, which is the Wegmans pizza. But let me show you the Freschetta pizza up close. We just put the Wegmans pizza in, and it definitely looks like it has less cheese,
Then the Freschetta pizza.
which also, I mean, the price, it is the smallest and cheapest of the 3 gluten-free pizzas that we're gonna be trying. The Against the Grain is going to be the biggest and most expensive of the gluten-free pizzas we're trying, but again,
When we talked about the
ounce and price comparison, the fact that the Against the Grain is only $1 more, but it is quite literally 5.5 more ounces is wild. I just can't believe that, because the Freschetta is like 5-ish more ounces
then the
Wegmans, and it's like $7 more. So
and it's a really good.
cheese covered.
This is a solid gluten-free pizza in my mind for
Dinner for 2. It's not gonna fill you both, but the Wegmans one definitely is not gonna fill you both. The Wegmans one is absolutely a one-person, individual, like personal pan pizza vibe.
whereas the Freschetta,
Is like a personal, but I'm gonna be generous and share it.
you know,
Whereas Against the Grain is like, let's have gluten-free pizza as a family. Either two people and a small person is like what that one could probably feed. But yeah, the Wegmans one has another 10 minutes, so stay tuned for that one to come out. And then we've got the third one to cook. I'm so excited. Second pizza is out. This is the Wegmans pizza. So let me show you the size difference of these. Putting the pesto one in for like another few minutes. It's kind of baking in a weird way. It is cooking, it's like very well done in the center. The outside still needs a little bit more. And while that is actually happening,
I'm gonna take out a baking sheet.
to throw 1 piece of each. So I've got 2 Freschettas. To heat this up as well. One thing I also will say is this spicy honey sauce, just some hot honey on pizza.
Next level.
I feel like I don't eat any pizza anymore without some hot honey. So we'll like try the pizza plain, but I'm gonna end up drizzling hot honey over all of these. Good catch. Look at that baby piece of pizza.
Baby pizza.
Do we hot honey drizzle everything or just first bite impressions?
No, we gotta do a general.
Wegmans. Cheese, I'm giving a 5 out of 10. Isn't Not enough.
We're rating. Okay, we're fully rating. Yeah, there's not enough cheese. The thing that comes through most for me is the sweet sauce. Actually, I'm not a saucy. I don't like a lot. You know this. I don't like a lot of sauce, but it's maybe the most redeeming flavor quality of the pizza.
Okay.
It's a solid crust.
Yeah, the crust is good. I like the flavor. I can taste, I feel like, the almond flour in the crust. I think that there's almond flour in there. I'm gonna move on to the Freschetta so that I can then compare them with another bite. Okay, the Wegmans is a lot drier. The Freschetta feels saucier. There's a good, I like the cheese to sauce to pizza ratio more. I feel like there's more crust. I'm tasting too much crust in the Wegmans.
Yep, I agree. And I've always felt this, but tasting it again this time. Freschetta reminds me of bowling alley or roller rink pizza.
It's like chewy.
It's a very, yeah.
It's got a good
still
chewy
thin.
dough.
The cheese gets really like cooked. It still pulls when you bite from it. Like it's a really, I think, a good cheese blend
Yeah,
for a frozen pizza.
I agree.
The crust is very good too.
Yep, the crust is good. It bubbles up a little bit, which is nice.
Like that's a really good crunch.
Yeah, and really nice and crispy while still being doughy. Whereas I feel like it has more
Kind of give.
to it. It's more flexible.
The Wegmans crust, it feels
Wegmans is just it's much drier.
and tastes more like a pastry. And not
Okay.
in a sweet way.
And then speaking of pastry, because I think that the Against the Grain kind of has a pastry-esque quality. So, it's a very crunchy, pastry-like crust.
Yeah, it's not doughy.
It's not doughy.
And it's cracker-like. Half of it. This will pick it up, but
Yeah. It is cracker-like.
and it's very good. The cheese is much more similar to Freschetta. They both like cover the pizza nicely too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the biggest difference. Like I'd be curious to try the
I rate-
Wegmans pizza with generally more cheese.
I rate from a cheese rating, Wegmans to me gets a 5 out of 10, whereas these both tie at like a 9 out of 10. I don't know what a 10 out of 10 would be, but they both, I think, have perfect cheese coverage.
In terms of
My sauce rating, that's the hardest to compare because we have the pesto sauce for the Against the Grain, and I'm a pesto girl. I love pesto. If Freschetta or Wegmans would make a pesto pizza, I'd be buying them in a heartbeat. So for me, from a sauce standpoint, the Against the Grain wins,
and
then Freschetta, and then Wegmans. Wegmans is last for me for sauce because there's not enough of it. What about for you?
Quality of the Against the Grain and the Freschetta are similar. I don't think they're completely equal. And at that point, it comes down to preference, I think, because the Freschetta is tastes like a gluten pizza more than any of the others, and I like both. But Freschetta, and it has that nostalgic
note.
taste, but the sort of crispy cracker, like you're getting really quality ingredients with the Against the Grain, like they're very transparent with it, and it's not traditional pizza. If you're looking for a traditional gluten-free pizza, then I think the Wegmans one for gluten-free, that is like I've had some of their gluten ones, and that is so like that is a cost-driven decision with the Wegmans pizza because it's the cheapest by far.
Yep.
And it's less than $10. You could, and we have split the pizza with something else.
Yes.
So like you can do it for dinner.
But
It's
you
the main
have to have
item.
something else because
Yeah.
Matt and I end up being starving after.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even actually say that you could
Yeah,
because it's like you need to have a full other dinner.
right. I just think there's not enough cheese. Like
Yeah.
it's showing that it's a more value purchase than not. The Wegmans pizza is a better deal than the Freschetta, which is quite interesting.
You say it's a better deal, but
The per unit price. But Freschetta, if you get like if we get the 2-pack at BJ's, it brings
yeah.
the cost down. You see the differences in the cost and the size of the pizzas, and I would gladly pay for the Against the Grain and the Freschetta as someone who can eat gluten.
So what do you think is the best bang for your buck?
I would say for somebody who likes traditional, I would go with the Freschetta.
I think the best bang for your buck is the Against the Grain by far. But if you're looking for traditional pizza, not everyone is
hard.
gonna love that crust.
That's-
So yeah, I agree with Matt that Freschetta is the go-to if you just are looking for a good, plain, traditional, gluten-free frozen pizza. Who just stole the slipper again?
Chewing on place.
I can't stop eating the pizza. It's so good. This dog though. So yeah,
I personally don't know.
Like, the Wegmans is nice to have in a pinch, but we always end up needing more food.
Unless you're gonna eat the Wegmans.
Pizza alone, I don't think it's worth it. If you are looking for pizza for two, I think the best bang for your buck
Is Freschetta or Against the Grain
to me, the Against the Grain is just so good because you get so much pizza.
for the price. And yeah,
That's my gluten-free pizza review. Do you have any final thoughts to add?
No.
Which is your favorite right now?
What do you mean by which is my favorite?
We're eating 3 different pizzas. Which one is
Yeah.
your favorite?
I think I said the Freschetta one.
I was asking which you thought was the best bang for your buck. I wasn't
No.
asking you for your favorite before.
I like the pesto pizza, but that's because I like pesto. So the Against the Grain, really, really good.
So you just changed what your favorite is?
I'm actually confused.
What are you confused about? It's like a really simple question.
I said you had asked the question of value, and I said Freschetta.
Yeah. And then I said, what's your favorite?
said
And you
Against
said the
the Grain.
Freschetta again. And then now you just said against.
But you explained what I asked for. I don't know. All this is gonna get cut out anyway, so this doesn't cut it.
I'm having a really hard time. Hot honey.
makes this like a 15 out of 10.
The best pizza condiment.
Check the bloopers. There might be some stuff there since Matt really just stumbled over the question of what's his favorite pizza. So yeah, love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hit the thumbs up if you do. Hit the bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Really, Gouda? Of course, the second I turn the camera on.
Is there a dog or there's too much dog?
Yeah.